What's happening, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition. Who's Canelo going to pick next? We were just trying to mind our own business, but we thought about it. It's been a while since we've been back, everybody. It's been a while. And, well, people are bitching and moaning about who Canelo's going to pick next. And you know what? We have to chime in like us Mexicans do and like Drew Evo does. So I got the homie with me, as always, Nopal Boxianos from Off the Ropes Boxing and MMA. I got Julian here with us. And from the Shoe Shine, I got Drew Evil, man. And we're going to talk about it. I was minding my own business, you guys. I was minding my own business, right? And, the news cycle was going as it does. And the news kind of came out that Canelo would not be picking Crawford. Now, I want to start with Crawford, okay? Because now that the coast is clear, the PBC Colt has come out this weekend saying, Canelo ducked Crawford, and it's pissing me off, okay? It's pissing me off, and I just want to start off by saying, man, don't get it twisted. Canelo destroys Crawford. All right, now let's talk about it. Who wants to chime in on this? Because I got things to say.
Oh man, who wants to go? Should I go first?
Go for it, man.
Go first. Well, anyway, man, just the whole thing with, like I said, the whole thing with Crawford, the Crawford deal. I mean, yeah, the dude's a pound for pound #1 in the world, But I mean, the dude has never fought at 160, 168. That's a whole different level of freaking ball game right there. That's 3 different weight classes. But yet everybody's crying for this shit. I don't know why. But I mean, it between him and Dave Benavidez, that's one of the bigger fights to make, of course.
You know what? It's a good point, Julian. And I'll tell you this, we are going to give Crawford his respect because I have him #1 pound for pound. I've always liked Crawford. And to be honest, dude, I like that fight more than a lot of other people like that fight. That's just me. I think that, yes, it is kind of ridiculous for him to go up 3 weight classes, but if anybody could do it, it would be Crawford, right? Mm-hmm. On top of that, it's the fight for the generation. Like, who's the generation's greatest fighter? It's for the era. Canelo versus Crawford would be for the era, okay? But if you ask me, dude, it'd be the easier touch. If I was managing Canelo, okay? Well, let me ask you, Paul, if you were managing Canelo and you needed to kind of ride this gravy train, who would you have him fight next? Would you rather have him fight Crawford or Benavidez next? If you were trying to extend his career.
I would preferably let him fight Crawford first because that's a guaranteed payday, easy win. Yes. You know what I mean? Of course, there would be... You got to keep in mind, this is what I think Crawford, why he wants to fight, is because he saw that Charlo was able to survive. And so he knows that if the going starts getting tough, he's just going to do exactly what Charlo did and just try to survive and make it to the last round. You know what I mean? And
I just think once Crawford
ain't nobody going to get mad at him, right? Because he got built-in excuses right there. Like, well, he's a little guy. What do you expect?
Right. It's lose-lose, like Canelo said.
Yeah. And that's why Canelo said it's a lose-lose for me. Because he knows that anybody from now on can just try to survive a fight just to get a damn payday. So he's going to have to do a couple things. Either start paying these guys less and be very selective about who you fight because these guys are just getting just easy paydays. You know what I mean? Guys that are, aren't even trying. That's what I think.
That's just the truth. That's the truth, man.
And not only that, you're devaluing Canelo in the process because guess what? And that could be PBC's plan all along. It's like let's get Canelo over here on contract with a couple fights, and let's bring his stardom down a little bit. That way we can, start saying that this other guy we got is the real face of boxing and shit like that. Meanwhile, they're giving the other guy some good ass fights, Right. But they bring Canelo over here and put him through some bullshit ass fights that nobody wants to see. Something was a given for us because what? We had to deal with all these stupid ass people for years telling us that Canelo's ducking, this guy and this guy. Now
the Charlos, yeah,
both Charlos.
He can't fight slick black fighters is what they said 3 years ago.
But when it happens, they're start crying. Now they don't want it. Like, bro, you should have just shut the fuck up. Them guys never had a chance. They were freaking bums. Both of the Charlo brothers are absolute dog shit bums. We knew that from the beginning. If you go back and look at our freaking videos, we've been talking so much shit about these two. They never damn deserved the fight. But these idiots over here just begging for it until they got it. Now they wanted to complain about it. Next. Go ahead, Julian. My bad.
No, good, man. I just wanted to elaborate what you were saying right there, bro. I mean, it's just the Charlos have always been the Charlos. I mean, they've never really fought the top talents in their divisions. That's one. And then on top of that, too, I mean, like I said, everybody was calling for this fight 3 years ago for Big Charlo. I mean, Jermell had more balls than Big Charlo had this past fight, you know, even though the guy pretty much just put his life on the line, you know, against Canelo. But, you know, I mean, just like in that whole sense, bro, I mean, Charlo just don't. I mean, he's not the same fighter, bro. I mean, the last fight, yes. I mean, he got the rust off. I mean, we saw that toward the middle of the fight, you know. But I mean, he's not he's the same sperm, you know, saying everything, bro. I mean, that's just how I see it, bro.
Right. I mean, you know what? That's the thing. You know, we're all soured on a potential Crawford fight because it is a big jump, and we just saw somebody go up and make an embarrassment of himself, Charlo, right? Now, what we were hearing before the Charlo fight was like, you don't want to fight a Charlo, right? And then we were hearing, oh, well, that, you know, Canelo's only doing it because it's a cherry pick, even though it's not a cherry pick. He thinks it's a cherry pick, and that's why he's doing it, but it's not. So that's why I have Jermell Charlo, right? Then Jermell laid an egg like he does against one of the greatest fighters in this era, currently the greatest fighter of his generation, Canelo Alvarez, beats him down, right? Charlo doesn't want any more of this. So now we're all soured on a potential Canelo versus Crawford fight. Drew, are you with us?
I'm going to be honest on this one. This topic equals content for those fucking content creators. Of course they're going to say he's ducking because it equals content. And you have stupid boxing fans that will believe it, that will agree with these motherfuckers.
Yep.
And it's a shame that we have low IQ boxing fans. It really is.
Yes.
It's a fucking disgrace to even think about a Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight. How could you duck someone 3 weight classes below you where the main guy that you should be fighting is in your own fucking weight division?
See, I could see more of an argument for that. If somebody was to say, hey, you know, he's ducking David Benavidez, like I could see the argument for that. Okay. And that's something that I would talk to them about because I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I could see where they're coming from, right? JC here says, Jermell, good look, but separation and skills between Nello and the Charlos and everyone else. I mean, there was a skill gap, okay? You know, and that's the other thing, Drew, you hit on a very poignant point, okay? And I just want to put it out there, right? Because I'm hearing this stuff, right? And this is a little bit reaction-based. You know, at first I kind of thought it was funny. And then I'm realizing, like, dude, these dudes, like, they're race baiting is what they are, dude. Like, they're just race baiting, right? Just trying to whip their people up into a frenzy. Okay, like, okay, this is what I got a quote here, okay? This dude's talking about how, like, you know, well, if Crawford was food, Canelo would eat, he says, right? But Canelo's not going to do that. And you know why? And this is a direct quote. He says, Canelo would ruin the gravy train, losing to a black American welterweight. Like, what the hell does this race have to do with anything?
And check this out, guys. We all know that if you're trying to play that angle, that's not true. Go rewind to when he was the zone. Them guys offered him some easy-ass fights that were basically circus fights. This is kind of a low-key circus fight itself. We know that. It's a freaking circus fight. And anybody that wants to see that, it's because they're sick, basically. Mm-hmm. They either want to see the black man get his ass knocked out or they want to see Canelo get robbed on the scorecards or something freaky like that. That's what they want to see. And like going back to what I was saying, Canelo had the chance to do them circus fights that he could have had 10 of those damn circus fights in that year. You know, I forget which ones they wanted him to fight Conor McGregor. They wanted him to fight Oscar De La Hoya even, which we know those fights would have freaking sold out the building big time. Hella pay-per-views right there.
For sure.
But the guy never wanted to do it. He don't take shit like that serious. You could tell him, hey, we're going to pay you $100 million, which that kind of shit was probably on the table, but he still decided not to do fights like that because, I mean, he always said he respects the sport of boxing a lot. You know, I always, in my opinion, I was like, well, maybe he should take a Conor McGregor fight, you know. It'd be a fun fight to watch, the drama, all that shit. But the guy decided not to do it. And he's doing the same thing this time. So you can't really use that angle right there that if it's an easy fight, he'll take it. Dude has a bunch of more easier fights on the table that he can just cherry pick, and those are less effort fights. He could probably not even get as prepared as he does for the other ones, yet he doesn't choose to go for that cherry picking shit like that.
Dude, that's a great point, dude. People forget that he sued the Zone, spent a year in litigation, right? Lost a year of his fighting prime to get out of a contract where they were trying to entertain him with, well, hey, we can pay you that money if you take an MMA fighter or if you fight it like an Oscar De La Hoya. You called it perfectly, no, Paul. Like, this stuff's ridiculous, dude. Canelo has fought nothing but champions. There was some kind of stat that he's fought almost all champions since Hatton, except for with the exception of a couple. And that's the other thing. So, when you talk about Canelo, you get a laundry list of well, hey, man, why isn't Crawford good enough? He'd make good money, right? That's what I'm hearing. He'd make good money, and then I hear, well, why do you fight Khan then? Khan was a welterweight. Oh, but he'll fight Yildirim.
Oh, it's different. Different
the funny thing is,
way different circumstances.
The funny thing is, I mean, even though Canelo's his own boss, he's still under contract with PBC.
Exactly.
PBC still has a contract with Dave Benavidez, all these other guys too. And that point being said, right there, Heyman's the one making these fights happen. He's not. He's the one that with the final say so. I mean, people are looking at, oh well, Dave Benavidez is calling him out. Okay, but do they have the money? This is what's going on. I mean, do they have the money to pay this dude right now?
Right. When has Al Heyman ever given us a red hot fight right when we wanted it?
And how many times have we seen Al Heyman obstruct fights?
Exactly.
And Samson,
wait him out.
Samson, the car dealership guy, bro, who sells people lemons. You know what I mean? When have you seen this guy? Exactly like Julian said, he's known for waiting fights out, fights that could happen within a 6-month period. They take 5 years to make. So who are you trusting over a fighter that, even when they said he was ducking a guy, it took him like a year and a half to negotiate with a guy that was not even trying to negotiate with him. And yet they still blame Canelo. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Dude, everybody thinks Canelo can just snap his fingers, right? Because he is the money man and the cash cow in the face of boxing, right? Although they don't want to say it when Tank is fighting Garcia, right? But now that they want Canelo to fight who they want him to fight, oh, Canelo can make those fights. He says he's the A side, right? I mean, that's not what I think, but he is, so whatever, okay? And see, JC here says the sad thing is casuals really believe that Canelo is ducking Benavidez because of all the false content narrative. Stephen A. Smith's cucking. Okay, let's talk about that. Julian, what are your thoughts on this narrative that Canelo is actively ducking David Benavidez?
I mean, it's not, bro. I mean, how many elite fighters has he fought without a loss? Every single fighter he's fought on his record has a loss in their record. Until he fought Boo Boo. But again, that guy was a 36-year-old prospect. Sorry, right. Drew. but just beyond that, I mean, he hasn't fought the level of fighter that Canelo, is. I mean, he's fought at 175. He's fought 2 guys at 175. Lost to one, of course. But I mean, the dudes could take power. I mean, even David said he could knock him out. I was like, bro, Gennady Golovkin couldn't do it. Kovalev couldn't do it. I mean, Kovalev caught him a few times and was like, what the fuck? The 2 stayed up.
Right.
Cool. He could take this shot. But it's just the whole thing is. I mean, I don't think it's a duck, man. I mean, like I said, this is a fucking business. Everybody needs to realize this shit. I mean, this is a business. I mean, they're with the same promoter right now, pretty much, and it's pretty much up to that promoter to pretty much decide, okay, what fight is best for this guy moving forward.
And you got to ask yourself how attractive these guys are making this fight on the business side for Canelo. They already had agreements going and all that, and you got to really ask yourself what position Canelo's in. And, the people that hate on Canelo, they just expect him to accept any type of offer that's given to him without any type of regard for what position you're talking about, what guy and what position he has. If you see other fighters in much less positions always, saying no to certain offers, yet you expect Canelo to jump at every opportunity that people throw at him, bro, you don't know shit about boxing, and you need to check yourself, because I guarantee you that same energy that you're throwing hate at Canelo with, you're not using it the same way with your favorite fighters. So you better think about that.
100%, dude. Everybody seems to know what Canelo needs to do next. Now, there was a good topic that I was hearing about, and people are saying that there's a double standard between what Canelo should do next and what Crawford should do next. Okay. Now, I've gone around and I've heard this idea that, well, we should be tough on Crawford too, right? Because Canelo, he's under contract, right? Just like seemingly, but Crawford is maybe under PBC, right? But there's really no calls for Crawford to do anything, and he's becoming a once-a-year fighter. There's no expectations for him to fight Drew's homie Boots Ennis, right?
And if you go back, Chicano, there's never really been an expectation anywhere from Crawford. And the excuse used to be that, oh, well, he's pretty much hands tied. He can't do much because Bob Arum won't let him, cross the street. But is it always going to be like that his whole career where you just give him a pass for everything? Come on, man.
Right. Right. He just gets to hide behind, well, maybe he's under contract. Oh, look, he called out Canelo on Twitter, did a couple podcasts, like he's ready for the fight. It's like, first off, I mean, he could be making more of a large effort right now. Like if you really wanted that fight, you'd be talking some shit right now. Like maybe Crawford's not like that, but dude, right now would be the time. If Crawford was going to take Canelo, right now would be the time to take him. He's still the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. He's got all the belts. Canelo doesn't look as good as people think, right? And you're no young lion yourself, right? You're getting a little long in the tooth. Like if you want to cash out, you cash out against Canelo right now. It might be there later, but it wouldn't be as hot as it is right now. But he's not saying anything, so people just give Crawford a pass. There's no expectation. I mean, just like Tank's out there, like there's really no Oh, that's another face of boxing, right? Another guy who's really up there who hasn't done shit, even though he's damn near 30, right? No expectation. Yeah. But with Canelo, like he's simultaneously ducking Crawford and Benavidez at the same time somehow. People are getting pissed off about who Canelo's going to announce, and he hasn't even done anything yet. People out there declaring like, well, I got a problem with this. It's like, okay, well, I don't know how many times I've had to hear about the people chingando about the Charlo fight. It's annoying.
Until it comes out of his mouth, that's when it's official.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't hear anybody else going like, hey, just so everybody knows, if Tank does this, I'm going to have a problem with it. If Crawford fights this person, I'm going to have a problem. But, like, Canelo, like, people are pissed off, and he hasn't even said anything yet. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah. Canelo always has when's the last time he's given us, like, a truly shit fight? I mean, like,
how many times historically have people rushed to judgment with this guy? They're like,
exactly.
With every one of his opponents, like, he won't sign the damn deal type thing. And, okay, Canelo's fighting the guy that we asked him to fight again. Come on.
There's always a shift, bro. It's just like people were saying that he was ducking Plant. I remember that. Oh, he's ducking Plant.
When he didn't want to sign up for the $10 million or something, or
right, and
Plant
then
we gave him everything he wanted. Like, bro,
right.
Who are you to say that you're giving Canelo? You ain't giving Canelo shit. He's the one giving you everything.
Canelo's literally been a star since he was 23, since he fought fucking Floyd Mayweather. I mean, Floyd Mayweather literally did the same thing he's doing right now, what Nelo's doing now. But yet, I mean, he gets a pass too. I mean, he fought Conor McGregor for his 50th win. Goddamn.
Right.
Like, I mean, if Canelo did that, it'd be murder. Like that's just how it goes with him. It's just everybody wants to see an American as the face of boxing, and right now, I mean, it's a Mexican dude that's conquering the world.
Yeah. Right. And I've been enjoying it, and I'm going to continue to enjoy it.
Oh, me too.
El Pachuco here says, Bud and Spence here held up the 140-pound division for many years. They avoided the hungry young lions like Virgil, Stanios. But a point, man, like, dude, like, where's the expectation? These guys could do whatever they want, take their damn time, right? And, I could see Crawford being stubborn. I could see him being like, well, Canelo, you need to give me 50% because I'm two-time undisputed. And it's like, well, nobody gives a shit about that Ndongo fight. Nobody cared about that fight. I was there at the time, bro. Nobody gave a shit about that unification, okay? Like, yeah, you cleaned out the division, but it was a weak division at the time. It got a little bit hotter after you left. It's just the truth, like, I mean, who are your best wins? Like, your resume is nothing compared to Canelo's. Yet you could just kind of hide, give up belts, right? Dude, like, he got stripped, and, he should, in my opinion, if he was to stay at welterweight, him fighting Boots would have been a good fight, like, but now Boots has moved on, right? Might be fighting Cody Crowley. Drew, what are your thoughts on this idea that, like, Crawford, because we know you're a Boots guy, do we hold Crawford the same standard as we do Canelo? And I want to also know if you think that he is avoiding Boots currently.
Here's the thing. He doesn't draw as much money as Canelo, nowhere near as much money as Canelo and everything. And the thing about it is he isn't really a big pay-per-view star. He's only been on pay-per-view probably maybe 4 times at most. So
I don't even think that.
but if we look at it like this, is he avoiding the Boots fight? He was contractually obligated for an Errol Spence rematch, which is officially off now. So you will think his next plan is to move to 154 and maybe fight someone at 154 for their championship. He does, since he can actually obligate himself as a mandatory for Tim Sue or Jomel Charlo, since he was undisputed, which will make more sense. Boots is high risk, low reward right now.
Yep. Yes,
it really is. Because Boots is someone that's on the rise, that has potential to be a star in boxing one day. And maybe it's not right for Crawford to fight him. And his right. It's time for him. Like he doesn't really have a lot of time left in the sport. He's already accomplished possibly what he's going to accomplish, is a 2-time undisputed champion and everything. Maybe it's time to just go up and conquer another weight division. And maybe get that fight with Jamal Charlo, which will make you money, or Tim Sue. But I look at it like this. Heyman makes the final say on a lot of fighters, but not every fighter. When it comes to Canelo, Heyman can present him fighters, and then he picks the last one at the end of the day.
So in the end, Drew, are you saying that you made it sound like, well, he's kind of earned it. He's getting a little older. You should start thinking about, he's already proved everything that he can prove. That's kind of what you were saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now, does that apply to Canelo as well, or just Crawford?
Here's the thing. Canelo has over 60 fights. But the thing about it is, Canelo is younger. Canelo is technically still in his prime. Canelo has obstacles he still has left. We can't. Here's the thing, man. We cannot, if we're boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, we all want the best fights. Correct?
Yeah.
So why are we gonna say, oh, we want Canelo versus Terence Crawford? Doesn't make sense. It's a mismatch because of weight divisions up and everything. No, you want him fighting Benavidez, him fighting Morel, or him moving up to fight the winner of Benavidez and Bivol.
What about Munguia?
I'll take that fight too, but it's a mismatch.
All right, let's talk about it, Julian. All right, now in our private chat, you've had plenty to say about what it would look like if we actually saw Canelo versus Benavidez. If they mixed it up in May, man, a lot of people are making it sound like Benavidez is too young, too strong, too busy of a fighter with all that volume, and Canelo's just too old, too small, too everything else. What are your thoughts on that potential matchup happening next?
Volume don't mean shit really in boxing. It's the whole point if you can connect with volume. And Canelo knows how to box. I mean, that's the whole. I mean, look at what Caleb Plant was doing at the beginning of the fight with Benavidez. He was boxing. He was boxing. And winning those rounds. And Dave Benavidez pretty much wore him down. I mean, Caleb pretty much saw that I can't take this dude out. And pretty much wasted all his energy. I mean, Canelo's a different energy. Than a Caleb Plant, than Demetrius Andrade. Right. And we've seen David Benavidez on the ground, on canvas before, versus Garbo. I mean, Garbo has nowhere near the power Canelo has. Right. Yes, it was a flash knockdown, but still, I mean, what would something like that do to Benavidez? What would a body attack of Canelo do to David Benavidez?
Great question.
That guy's body is just built for that whole terror, I guess you could say. Like me being a boxing trainer now, training kids again. I can't emphasize more, like a bigger fighter, a smaller fighter, how like much it is just to go to the body, you know. And Canelo's smart enough of a fighter to do that, and you know, I just feel Canelo will do that and dominate. You know, he'll dominate that fight. You know, and I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe David will make it interesting, maybe the first 3-4 rounds, maybe, you know, but you know, I just see the body just being a big issue, you know, in that fight. You know, just wearing him down, slowing him down, and then he's gonna realize too, you know, that he can't knock him out. You know,
Interesting.
and
Dude, that's good stuff. Let me ask you something. Do you have any concern about Canelo's gas tank?
right now, you know, yeah, I mean, the Jermell Charlo fight, I mean, you couldn't really say anything about his gas tank because he was pretty much whipping the shit out of Charlo the whole fight.
Right.
You know, he had you know, the whole fight he was just on point. You know, if he's on that same level fight again, you know, the next fight, I mean, if it is Dave Benavidez, then yeah, I mean, I think that's just trouble. It's just a big trouble, you know, for the Dave Benavidez and whoever's next in that division.
Dude, that's a great point. And, you know, I don't know if it was you or Nopal that said it earlier, but you guys were talking about at the end of the day, you know, this is also a business, you know, and I just want to say, Nopal, you know, I think it's funny how there's some people out there who were, you know, giving you a hard time for saying earlier that, hey, you know, Canelo Benavidez might not happen for business reasons. And now
I mean, yeah, bro, we're like basically me and you. And Julian, and you know, we're no offense, Drew, but we've been talking about the business for years, bro. We're the OGs of this shit when it comes to A side, B side. All man, got that shit figured out, big time, bro. And you know, I just gotta say it sucks. You know what I mean? We've been talking about this for years, and then you got guys that, you know, they used to profess that they weren't all about the business. Now you got them saying that, you know, that's all they talk about in the shows, bro. That is weird. I gotta say, you know, that
Yeah,
is super weird.
I
You
asked a lot
know,
of people that same question, like, are you in the background? Like, do you see like things going on? You know, like, cause like me, I mean, I have a pretty good source. You know, I mean, my buddy
yeah,
Brandon. You know, like, and he's a big PBC dude. I mean, so I kind of know a lot what's going on at PBC right now. You know, just
yeah.
because of
right.
that
And you
dude.
know
You know,
what, Julian? You guys are insiders, but a lot of this shit you can just see it. You can
oh
just
yeah,
see
oh
where
no,
it's gonna
no, it's
go.
visible.
If
No,
you're,
it's visible.
yeah, a lot of
If you
this shit
can't
you
see
could
it,
just you can just predict it sort of, and you can assess yourself what's going on with the business side a little
Right.
bit. You know what I mean? But some people don't got that ability, and others claim that they're not all about the business, and then they switch around, and now that's all they talk about, which is super weird, man.
Yeah. It's
I
like being in the
think.
nosebleeds and then saying you manage a fighter who's on the card. Like, give me a break. You know, how does that
Yeah,
one work
like
out? Come on, man. You know,
come
like
on.
all I'm saying, dude, is like, yeah, you get a lot of that out there. And so my point is, Nopal, is like the very same thing that they were criticizing you about. Now they're saying themselves, right? Like
Yeah,
you've been ahead of the curve. That's my
where's my
point.
fucking credit, man?
Where's your
Did
Yeah,
you wait
flowers,
till I
you
bro?
took
got
a
it. I
hey?
know, right?
Did you wait till I took a break so you could now take, you know, all the shit that I showed you, and now you're, bro, now
So you
you
could
got
patent all my material.
your damn leather jacket on, and you know you
Right.
think you're cool. Come on,
Right.
man.
Yeah. No, for real, bro.
Okay,
Fuck.
okay. Speaking of A sides, let's talk about it. You know, because everybody thinks Canelo could just snap his fingers and make a fight, but you know what? It's like you guys said, man. I think these B sides get a little testy, and they act like they're entitled to big amounts when Canelo should be paying these dudes less. Like, in my
Yeah, he
opinion,
should be. Yeah.
I mean, is it reasonable to give these guys like 20 to 25% if they don't take it? Say, well, you know what?
Hell
Then you don't
no.
deserve the fight. Like, what are your
Hell
thoughts?
no, man. Go
Well,
ahead, Julian.
no, I mean this. I mean, like I said, Canelo's the man. He's the one that's giving you them. He's the one. He's the reason you're making the money.
And you saw
You
what
know?
happened with Charlo. Do you think he deserved even 10 million for that
Nope,
low
not at all.
performance?
And on top of that, he got some pay per view too, but not a lot of it. You know.
He should have gotten paid like 6 million, probably. Not,
No.
man. Come on, dude. He just didn't even
Hey
fight,
though, but
man.
he did pull over 700,000 in pay per view though. I mean,
I
that's
know, but
crazy. That's
you know what I
crazy,
mean?
bro.
To be honest, we expected more. And the least Charlo could have given us is a good fight, you know?
Right. El Pachuco here says the strong push of Benavidez in the boxing community is almost entirely an anti-Canelo agenda, meaning that people actually believe that Benavidez can beat Canelo. Anything for Canelo to lose. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, he's the next guy to hop on. Like, if I had to bet on one person Okay, that's another way of putting it. Let me ask you guys: if you had to bank on one person beating Canelo, and you could choose from Crawford, Munguia, and Benavidez, who would you all pick?
Neither.
So I mean, but if you had if your life depended on it, and one of these guys had to beat him, and you had to run the simulation, who would you put in there against Canelo?
I would
You
say,
said
you know what? Honestly, you forgot David Morrell. I think David Morrell probably give him more problems, bro, and probably another loss.
100%.
know?
I think he's the future. I think Morrell's the next guy at that division for sure. That's my
or
opinion.
he even can go up, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay, I think so, but I think Morrell, and this is gonna sound weird. I'm predicting him to be the next big thing, but he also doesn't necessarily deserve the fight yet, in my opinion. Like if I was to put one person against Canelo to have him beat Canelo, it would be Morrell.
And
But
then you
I
gotta
mean,
ask yourself too, is like, are you in a position to even fight Canelo? It's like, bro,
he's not in a position
No,
exactly.
what, you
not
fight
yet.
like
No,
every
not yet.
2 years or something?
Not yet. But I mean, he's going to come up, bro. I mean, he's gonna get a lot of freaking experience coming up.
But I'm saying, I mean, you fight like every 2 years, and then out of nowhere you're gonna pretend like, oh man, this guy's been ducking me forever type shit. Come on,
Right.
man.
No.
Like,
Well,
who
so,
are
I
you
mean,
again?
I mean,
Who
I
are you
really think.
again, right?
I mean, I really think him. I think him and Benavidez really should have got down. I mean, they have the same promoter though. That's a different thing.
Exactly. They should get down. Weren't they acting like they were
You
calling
got to
them out?
fight.
That's why I
It
called
was
it.
it was supposed to like that's the easiest fight to make for PBC. Like
Yeah,
that's just the honest truth.
that's why I call Samson what I call him, man, because that guy's always lying. Mentira's right there, bro.
For sure.
Hey! I took a picture with that guy. I'm not sure.
I know, right? There's a lot of people who are two-faced, not two-faced, but it's different when you see him in person. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You
yeah,
might
I
be
mean,
stands up there, and then you see him in person.
I mean, he's nationally known. I mean, everybody knows who the hell he is. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you? It's just like me hating on freaking Floyd Mayweather. But hey, if I saw him, hey, bro, take a picture of you. You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's what I was telling somebody the other day. I was like, there was a time when I talked hella shit about Triple G, right? But that doesn't mean that if I ran into him, I wouldn't say hi or anything like that, because, apart from that, it is one of the best boxers who's ever laced them up. And, he's great for the sport and all that. So, you still got to give them guys their flowers,
Yes, you
Well,
do.
I mean, shoot, if everybody even fought as often, right, as Mayweather, I mean, dude, at least he fought twice a year most of the time, didn't he? I feel like he did.
Yeah, May and September.
Yeah, dude,
Always.
dude, these guys are divas, bro. They fight once a year, and then it's like, well, maybe not a hot fight right now, dude. I hear people talking about, well, Tank should get some kind of tune-up after that big win after Ryan Garcia. I'm like, dude, that was not a real fight, bro. Yeah, dude, like the guy. Come on, man.
No,
that
no,
fight
I fought
was
3 times in 1 year, almost 4 times.
And he's saying that he wants to fight 3 times this year. Who knows if it's true? But
right. We heard Reynoso Senior say or Junior say, well, I don't want him to fight 3 times a year, but Canelo's saying we're doing 3, so we're doing 3. So Canelo, he's got plans, right? El Pachuco here says, how else would you explain the Benavidez hype? His resume is weak, replete with a bunch of smaller guys that moved up in weight to face him. Dude, that's absolutely a great point. And I've been making that point in our private chat all the time, dude. Like everybody's acting like Canelo does all these things. It's like, dude, like this guy doesn't even fight bona fide super middleweights. Sometimes it's his fault, sometimes it's not. But dude, like he keeps bringing people up, right? I mean, when's the last time he fought like a solid? Like, come on, man. There's a history. You can see that dude, he's bringing up middleweights and shit at catchweights. And Ivan Lopez here brings up a good point. He says Latinos need to support Latino boxing channels. Well, I appreciate that, man. And that's the reason we're speaking out because, dude, you know what? I felt like there was nobody out there defending Canelo, really, with the exception of, I would say I was listening to Shadow Ghost. He's doing a good job. He's Boricua, and he's doing this whole like, well, I don't really like Canelo, but damn it, I got to defend him because he's the hypocrisy, right?
Yeah.
So it was nice to hear him championing the truth because that's all it is, man. It's the truth, There should be more excitement about who Canelo's going to fight next, right? But instead, people are just pissed. Like, there's no buzz. Like, I'm trying to enjoy myself. I actually need to limit my content exposure because, dude, like, it's hard to get excited. People are just chingando, and you know what? Like, I just don't feel like Canelo gets proper representation. It's all about criticism about what he's going to do. There's no, like, there's no like context put into, like, in my opinion, when people are talking about legacy, like everything that he's done, like what could he do, like. There's no creativity, with Canelo. It's just shitting on Canelo everywhere I look.
He's earned the right to do what he wants to do now.
Yeah, he has, dude. He's earned the right,
And he's earned some points with us, right? It's like his history of people complaining about him, and then he gives them what they want, and then the next 6 months they go to the same place where they just forgot about how he came through the last time, and here we go again. Canelo trying to duck another guy. Oh, okay. Canelo fights that dude that they said he was ducking. Here we go again, like 10 straight fights like that, and people act like he hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt with us finally. Where you're like, well, I'm hearing rumors, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he always comes through. Nope, not at all.
Right. Remy, what's happening, man? It's good to see my old homies, dude. We were wondering who's going to come. It's been like months since, we've been off for a long time, but we thought we have to come back, talk a little shit, Canelo's back, dude. And you know what? There's only going to be a couple more years. Now, Canelo's talking about going like 5 more years. Julian,
doubt it.
I mean, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like, that he's like a competitor, right? But come on, man, 5 years,
I give him about maybe 3. I give him 3. About 3 years. I think he'll call it quits. After that, I mean, I think he'll have a big Mexican hurrah. And
5
I think
years.
at that time too. I think at that time though, Munguia will still be on the road on that path. Within the next 2 or 3 years.
Munguia will be 100-0 by then.
Shit, for real, man. Be fighting 4 times a year, man. But now, I mean, like I said, he's gonna do it, bro.
Man. Dude, yeah, dude. So I'm telling you, dude, like I that's pretty much all I wanted to say, dude, in general. I feel like I've gotten my stuff off and people know where the Canelo cartel stands, right? Yeah, I'm excited about what he's going to do next. And for the record, I don't like the Charlo fight either, man. But
yeah, it's weak.
Yeah, but I'm not going to criticize him and be chingando, right? For something that hasn't happened yet. He's in negotiations with them, right? I mean, this might be there could be a change. Like, and if there is, then maybe I'll have a slight problem with it a little bit. I'll get the satisfaction in a sense because I have been hearing that he's been ducking the Charlos for a long time. So when he beats down Jamal, if and when, yeah, I'll get some satisfaction out of it. Everyone's going to watch what Canelo's going to do next. Like, I don't think there's any fighter, right? There was an announcement that Canelo had on, what was it? TV Azteca. Fucking everybody was talking about that day. Like, oh, Canelo's going to make an announcement. Like, I don't think there's any boxer who could say, I'm going to make an announcement. Be kind of vague about what the announcement is.
And the whole world tunes in.
Dude, people speculating on what it is. Like, oh,
and they were tripping about that too, huh? Like,
yeah, dude. Okay, Drew. Now you were listening to some insiders on Twitter, right? Who got the announcement completely wrong. Is that right, Drew?
Rick Glazer on drugs.
Yeah. that one was my favorite. You know what? It could have been an educated guess. Like, to me, it sounded good, right? I mean, it looks like the PBC's broke. They look broke to me, right? I mean, it looks like they're running out of places to go. I mean, that's kind of what I saw. That would have been my educated guess too.
That he was breaking ties with PBC.
Yeah, and that he was going to fight.
Yeah, but to be honest, well, that other part could have been announced. But what I'm saying is the first part don't even make no sense, bro. When he broke off with Golden Boy, he didn't announce that to the whole world because, especially in Mexico, they don't know who the hell PBC is. Go ahead, Drew.
You know what? When it comes to what was his big announcement or something?
Dude, Drew got up early for that one, is what I heard.
What was it like this and everything?
Come on, Drew bullshit.
His bullshit and everything. I'm gonna say something right now, and tell you the truth. None of these guys know what I'm gonna say and everything. So don't hate on these guys. You could come at me over this shit and everything. But Rick Glazer is nothing but a lying ass fraud, blow like piece of shit for saying about a fighter somebody that died and say good winnings. Fuck him, first of all. And second of all he reports is bullshit. All he is a PBC matchroom fucking hater. That's what he is. He's an old guy that doesn't have a good fucking record and he's burned too many fucking bridges. And now, since he's burned too many fucking bridges, he's fucking gonna say some fake shit. Anything that can get him some fucking recognition or fucking notice on fucking Twitter.
And he just burned his bridge with Drew now, huh?
For doing is getting caught on fucking.
No more coke, from Drew.
The only thing that he's known for is getting caught on fucking video stealing drink vouchers for his wife at a Golden Boy event.
Oh, I heard that too.
Yeah, that's a good point though, Drew. Well, yeah, I mean, he really bit the bullet on that shit. Tell you that much. He bit the bullet on that fucker, really, man. I mean, you're on point. But
is even wrong with the fucking Hector Garcia versus Tank Davis fight. 61,000. No, that fight did 150,000. You're wrong again, Rick. Like,
that's
seriously.
it's
Here's the
smart.
thing.
Yeah, sorry. Go
Rick
ahead.
came through and cut him in half.
Here's the thing. How can you say anything about anything financially with Amazon and PBC when they in the press release they didn't release no fucking financial statements. They don't allow when it comes to boxing now. They don't when it comes to networks.
No, that's true. No, you're
Check
right.
this out, man. Imagine if like PBC's reporting that, or anybody. I'm just picking PBC. It could be anybody though. They're going around telling people that the fight did 100,000, and it really only did 20,000, right? But imagine the fighter just takes him to court and says, "Hey, they only paid me for 20,000." You know, like you shouldn't be allowed to go around lying about shit like that, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Or like, where's my 80,000? I mean, where's the rest of my check, motherfucker? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Hey guys, I gotta get back. I gotta get to my kids real quick.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Hey, man, that was a good one though,
Julian.
man. Chopping up
For
all
sure.
you guys, man. Dog,
All
keep
right.
tuning in though to this one. I can keep listening.
Peace. That was
All right,
Julian with Off the Ropes Boxing and MMA.
Peace,
Later
Julian.
on,
Trainer,
gentlemen.
man, he's got a good movement going, right? I'm
Heck
telling you,
yeah.
dude, he's doing a lot of hot things here in Arizona, man. Keep an
Oh,
eye out
yeah,
for
man.
him.
I
And
got
he's
you
got good
guys.
content, insider information that only the Alchida group gets. It's all good. Thanks, Julian, for being on.
Yeah, man. You guys have a good night.
You
Later
too.
on.
Peace. Remy here says that some people didn't go to work for the announcement. Well, dude, like on Twitter, I was like, "Happy Announcement Day, everybody!"
Happy announcement day.
Yeah,
funny.
dude. I mean, it was good speculation, you know. Like I had a good time with it, you know. But I mean, we'll see, dude. I'm
I thought
excited
he was.
about.
You know what? I really thought he was gonna be like on some Geico shit commercial. Like, oh yeah, I got a big announcement. I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, people. You know, that's the funny thing is like people are hearing these interviews with Canelo and Reynoso, and dude, they're picking whatever they can, right? Like, oh, you know, he said this, he said this. So like right now, it's defaulted to him fighting in May against an American, right? And then there's this big debate. Well, you know, Benavidez is American, right? So it's not Munguia. So it's, I mean, they didn't really tell us much other than it's not Munguia, which is a little surprising. But then again, like it would just be that's a little bit of a, I don't know, like a high profile cherry pick. Although, you know, let's remember that Munguia was the first guy, you know, that people started getting on Canelo about for not fighting Mexicans, right? Canelo said like, I really don't want to fight him. Nothing's off the table, but I don't want to fight him. Nothing's off the table, but I don't want to, right? He said this when he was a defending unified champion at middleweight, talking about 154 pounder. And then all that talk went away, right? When Munguia got that disputed decision against, what was that guy's name? Hogan, right? But the image of Canelo like not fighting Mexicans, that stuck, right? Now everybody's like, oh my God, he doesn't fight Mexicans. But that fight was never really hot in the first place. Like it had a little bit of buzz and then it went away. That's what happened. Oh, Little Penny.
But you know
what's
what?
happening, man?
What up,
But you know
little
what?
Penny?
Little Penny,
He's
I
right
will
about-
drop the link if you got your Canelo bandana. You put it on, you can jump on, brother.
But you know what? Beeb was right about Glazer dropped like burning his bridges with people. You know? But like if you look at it like this, it made me want to look up information when Beeb said, oh, you know, he burned his bridges with people and like box wreck when it comes to Rick Glazer. I wanted to
What'd you
look up the
find,
information
Drew?
that he
What'd you
showed
find?
and everything.
What'd you
And the thing
find?
about it is, it's 100% what Beeb said is correct. He burned his bridges. He doesn't really have a big reputation when it comes to boxing and everything. Like, what the fuck does this guy hasn't done anything in boxing since
What up, Lil Pen?
2014. The last thing he did in boxing was fucking matchmake on a fucking card that was probably in fucking Washington.
Oh, Little Benny, what's up, man? It's been a while. How you doing, brother?
Hey man, it's been a while, Chicano. You haven't been on for a while.
Yes. You know what?
What
We
up, bro?
appreciate these people coming back and making the time to come say hello, man. Like,
How about those fucking Niners?
little,
Drew, it was a close game. It could have gone either way.
oh,
your
Little
fucking
Penny,
your fucking coach cost you that game. Kyle Shanahan choked again.
Oh, Well, we were
No, I
inspired.
thought it was the special teams.
No,
Remember when
that was your
the
coach. That
ball
was
hit
Kyle
his
Shanahan.
leg?
It wasn't on the defensive
Ah,
coordinator.
yeah.
That was Kyle
They
Shanahan.
completely changed the game because then they didn't have any momentum at that time. And
They
then the
cheated
first
too,
play,
man.
they got the ball back. It was a touchdown. And
But
now it
here's the
was
issue.
like
Here's the issue with that.
10-7 or something.
You had a double-digit lead. Why don't you do more? You won the ball. They did not. They went away from it again. And we're
Yeah.
talking boxing now.
Lil Penny, he's the New Zealander always sticking his nose in American football business.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Chicano, I don't have a Canelo bandana. I've got
That's okay. That's okay. You're looking good, man. Dude, yes. We were inspired to come on. Like, we've been on an indefinite hiatus for no real reason, bro. We're still, we got our little group chat, man. We're having a good time talking shit, talking. But, there's a lack of inspiration to come on, man. I just don't have the zeal like I used to, okay? But, people were talking so much damn shit, Lil Penny, that I had to come on and say something and have it be put on the record. You know what I mean?
Chicano, guys, I actually feel the same way. I remember like 10 years ago, I used to be a huge follower of boxing. Maybe because Pacquiao and Donaire were in their primes, but I just feel like because also back then the fights were on HBO and Showtime. I just feel like the boxers these days, they don't fight often enough. They don't have they don't fight the best don't fight the best. They always make excuses about mental issues, which really they don't. It puts off a lot of boxing fans. I think because I'm with you. I'm not. I think I only bought 1 or 2 pay-per-views last year. It was the Davis Ryan fight. By the way, I'm going to buy the Ryan Haney fight in March, I think, or whenever they're fighting in April. And I bought another one. I can't
That's a
remember which one
mismatch.
that was. Sorry?
That's a fucking mismatch and a half.
Yeah, but at least, like, I want... by the way, when they were in amateurs, it was 3-3, right? I know Ryan hasn't really improved that much, whereas Haney has. But I'd want to watch that fight. Like, are you guys going to buy that pay-per-view? No, I am.
Yeah.
Am I going to buy it? I'll watch it.
I'll watch
Are you going to buy it?
I
Haney
watched
versus
that
Garcia.
shit.
There
Because
might
Ryan
not be a
Garcia's
need to
gonna
buy
quit.
it, Lil Penny.
You know what? I kind of wish Ryan Garcia wasn't
pay-per-view.
Mexican, to be honest. I wish he was
Hey,
like something else.
Stick with us after the chat. We'll talk about that.
But didn't they already announce that in the zone is going to be on pay-per-views or normal the zone?
That's pay-per-view.
Yeah, I thought
Pay-per-view,
so
I
too,
think.
man. That's a big fight.
Okay, first off, I don't think Ryan Garcia deserves that fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, Chicano, like, there's so many fighters these days that don't want to fight the big fights or don't want to face like tough opposition. At least Ryan Garcia is. So I'm going to give him
That's
credit
true.
for that.
Yeah, but give him credit for being an idiot because he's
a
gonna get his
punk,
ass
bro.
whooped.
Like, I don't
No,
know.
we're
Like,
not
He's gonna
No,
get his ass
no.
whooped, but
I'm
yeah,
sorry, but I gotta
you're
say
right
this.
though, Lil Penny. Other fighters should be the same way, right? Because you
I
got
gotta say
fighters
this.
that actually got a chance to win, yet they don't take to certain fights.
But here's the
You
thing.
know?
He went out of that fight. He wanted to fight Warrior first, and then he said, "I'm going to take Haney." Then he used his name for clap. He said, "I don't want to fight Haney because Mayweather got in his head." Yo, man.
I know
shut up,
that
man.
that sucks.
And then
Huh?
now he had no fucking choice.
That's true. Like,
He
and
brought
let's
himself
not
in a fucking
forget
hole.
he quit like a little bitch against Tank, is what he did.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
But
So and now he
Chicano,
deserves a title fight at 140. I don't think so, bro.
But
That's just me.
Chicano, he did. I agree with you, and I think the cat is out of the bag. However, just to play devil's advocate, I don't know if you saw his live stream with Patrick Pat David.
I seen
He
it.
did say that he was so weight drained for that fight at 138 that he had nothing left. Right. So what he wanted to do was create like a one punch knockout or make it really quick. Because he knew that it wasn't going to last after 3 or 4 rounds because he had nothing left. Kind of like what Oscar De La Hoya had against Pacquiao.
But you know what?
Yeah.
When your own promoter tells you not to take that deal, and you want to be a dickhead, you want to be a
Yep.
stupid idiot,
Yeah.
and you have around a bunch of yes men with you and everything.
But Drew, he actually blamed De La Hoya for that. I don't know. why.
Yeah.
he did.
That's
But you know
stupid,
why he blamed
on
De La
that
Hoya? He didn't
interview.
want to blame nobody
Yeah.
on his team. He, didn't want
He
to
was
blame
acting like,
nobody.
and he straight up said that the other guy moves in shadows. Meaning,
Yeah, no, Paul. I think it's just what Gen Y mentality.
Hey, you know
like,
what?
They don't want to take any
He's
accountability.
him and Kanye West are smoking the same shit, right?
Yeah, it's like any excuse.
Like they'll talk
I got
about
mental
God one
issues.
minute, and then the next minute they're talking about some strippers or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, bro.
yeah. But no, Paul. I think it's in all sports. Like even in NBA, all these Gen Y players, they're like they don't want to compete. They got so many excuses, load management, like blah blah. Like
But
they're
here's
just
the thing.
weak, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is gonna be worse than Tank versus Ryan. It's
Why?
gonna be a fucking massacre because how fucking much
You mean
better
Haney.
Devin Haney is than Tank. And the thing about it is, he's the same size as Ryan Garcia and everything. He's gonna fucking quit again. He's gonna be on his fucking knees like he's always does. And tell you the truth, he has no fucking rasa.
He's
You know
like,
what? Yeah, you're right.
He's
And
like
you know
VO. He's like Victor or Virgin.
Well,
What's his name?
guys,
VO.
it is
Victor
possible
Ortiz.
that his bruise was his rib was fucked up in the last fight, and that's probably why he quit. And there was reports that them guys knew about that, so they targeted it specifically. What Ryan Garcia should have did is when that happened to him in training camp, he should have just postponed the fight right away.
Yeah, Mayweather did the same thing when he fought Marquez. Remember?
Yeah,
right.
Here's the thing:
just postpone the fight. You're already in a lose-lose situation. Fucking postpone the fight, and then if they want to pull out,
cash out. This is another cash out. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, this fight doesn't excite me. I don't think it's pay-per-view worthy. I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna pay for it. That's just how I feel.
It's not pay-per-view whatsoever. But
how on earth will you be able to watch something that you can't pay for? I don't know.
Come on, Nopal. You know how we do it, bro.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Nopal. Okay, now I get it. But hey. Also, Ryan Garcia's head is not in the right place. Didn't he?
Yeah, he's psycho, man.
His son. So his wife gave birth. So he posted it on Instagram or whatever or Twitter. 2 hours later, he makes another post saying that I'm going to divorce you, meaning that child is not his. So that's going to affect your mental state.
No.
Right?
I'm kind of like religiously following Ryan's baby mamas. Okay, now I can tell you that like she gave birth to him a while before he actually like revealed that he had given birth to a son.
Okay.
So they were together, and then it's like they were busy, but like he's been cheating on her. She just stuck around, like she didn't know the deal. What it's like when you're with like
Go ahead.
No, I didn't tell Ryan, but I did say it when he got married. I said, dude. I didn't tell him, but I just said it on air here, whether it's here or with Biebs. I said, Ryan, dude, you're a good-looking guy. You're only like friggin' 21. Why get married, bro? Like, live a little. Because dude, you're a good-looking guy. All of the girls, like, and you're a boxer. You got a lot of money. You got the perfect formula, right? Because boxing is probably the most respected sport out there among athletes, right? Because he can't play boxing. So he's good looking. He can speak English. He's got a lot of sponsors. Dude, live a little, man. Like, I told him, I said back then that this marriage is not going to last because,
it's all on a plate for him.
Wait, Penny, you were able to tell Ryan that?
No. I just said it on, like in the live stream, like because when he got married, I told Biebs or I don't know which live stream it was.
Shoot, I didn't even know he got married, Ryan Garcia. I thought he did. Okay.
I think he had to because he had I think he
shotgun wedding or what?
No, I think it was well, he was cheating on her. Then he got all depressed, and she stayed with him, and was like, "I will support you," right? And then, I think Ryan kind of wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Like, wanted the good woman at home who was raising the kids, and then also wanted to kind of dip out and do what he could do. And
most athletes do.
The only thing Ryan Garcia is good at pulling out of is not good at pulling out of is a fucking vagina.
Well, he's young, and I mean, I don't know what to say, man. Stupid. I think Lil Penny said it perfectly. I agree with what Lil Penny had to say.
Dude, when I was at that age, right, 25, 26, dude, your freaking hormones are like going up and down. It's like, you know what I mean? You want to, I didn't even have money at that time. Like he has, and he's good looking. I'm not. Like so, all of the like it's different when you have to go when you're in a nightclub. When you're in a nightclub, you go up to a girl, you have to actually perform a little, like, you know, buy a
you
drink.
Gotta convince them, huh?
Ryan Garcia doesn't have to do that. He just has to turn up.
Walks up, they follow him, huh?
Don't forecome.
It's on a plate for him, dude.
Correct. Anyway, hey, Chicano, speaking of Canelo, I don't think he's ducking Canelo. Sorry, I don't think he's ducking Bud because they're in a different weight class. It's like 3 different weight classes difference. But this Benavidez, if he doesn't fight Benavidez, I don't know, man.
I said you could make the argument that he's ducking David Benavidez if he doesn't fight him this year, or maybe even next, really, unless he's just prioritizing like making money. Like
also,
if he's just
unless he
cashing out,
releases some of the details of what's going on, that's how we would know, right? Because they're like, hey, they, you know, the thing is they don't want to let me fight Benavidez. That could be possible too. Remember, we're dealing with Samson
it's
here.
Big money. It'll do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Everyone wins.
But how about what if Samson's trying to like get hella money for them? You know what I mean? Like what if they're like, hey, we deserve 20 million type shit, and Canelo's probably like, no, you don't. Probably only deserve a little more than planned. You know.
Here's
that's
the
the
issue.
problem.
Here's the issue with this shit.
We don't know. So
when you are someone like David Benavidez and you chasing someone like Canelo Alvarez, you gotta bite the bullet and accept your role.
Yes.
As the
B-side.
B-side.
Yep.
And you should be happy you get 20%. And just call it.
Okay. So that brings up another, because he's the mandatory. You know, they already have their rules established. So the reason why they're not, a lot of people ask Samson, and then they ask him, hey, how come you're not asking at the convention to make, you know, to call him as your mandatory, you know, so to mandate that fight, which the WBC is known for. The reason why they don't do that is because it's going to happen just like Drew. That's going to force the WBC to drop the percentage now and say, well, okay, we're going to establish a set upon, we're going to have to move this around because I think the set upon standard is like
70-30.
No, I think it's like 45 55 or something like that.
60-40
or 60-40, which is unheard of
for Canelo, man.
You can't do so. They got to set it up. They got to do it like they did for Fury, right? And Dillian White, right? Didn't they do it like 80-20 or something like that?
They did 80-20 for Dillian, but they did 80-20 for Yordrum too. If you look at it,
shit. He got paid fat.
Really? 80-20 for you?
No, I thought Yildirim. I thought he got paid a flat rate. I'm pretty sure. I don't
know.
He
only got like 4 million.
Yeah. Well, no, because that fight wasn't even pay per view. It was on the Zone, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing: the other reason why I don't think he hasn't done it yet, is because once you guys not gonna agree on a fight. You're gonna probably ask for some ridiculous amount to try to get some money in. Canelo's not going to do it. It's going to go to post bid, and then you guys ain't going to want it to go to post bid because there's a chance everybody's going to go try to bid on it. And tell you the truth, PBC is in no position to win a post bid.
And then now you're kind of forcing Canelo to freaking vacate his belt. Because he's not going to want to put in that.
WBC, no, Paul, WBC is not going to do that.
Absolutely. They've done it. They did it with Triple G, right? And Canelo.
No, Paul, I'm going to tell you this right now. You want to know how much would be the winning bet on that fight?
How much?
ESPN.
Probably the Saudis will come in and buy it out, huh?
ESPN or the Saudis are gonna pay $100 million for that fight.
I heard it's a blind bid, bro. So you won't even know what everybody else is bidding on the fight. Dude, and you're just dropping your bid in. So if you put in $1 and nobody else is bidding on it, you're getting it. Well, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean?
For that fight. And the thing about it is, one of them, Canelo's will vacate, or Benavidez's people will tell him not to take that fight. And because here's the thing, he'll make his 20 million with that, and Canelo will make 80 million.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's a
And
lot
Saudi?
of money. I don't know. You talking about Saudi
You
money?
cannot turn that money down. Does not matter who promotes the fucking fight.
Yeah, that's sort of to generate 100 million. So Canelo 80, Benavidez 20. The pay-per-view would have to be around 1.5 to 2 million. I don't think they can do that. So if Saudi offers that, I think they should take it.
Wait,
when
so
they fight in
how
Saudi
much-
Arabia, it's
Wait,
not
wait.
going to be at the same like, you know how right here in California it's like the fights are like 7 or 8 at night. If they fight in Saudi Arabia, it's going to be a whole different time
like
zone,
midday.
right?
You know, the time zone's not
Yeah.
bad. You know, it's not like a fight in the UK for us.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
the afternoon over here, but if you look at
Yeah.
it like this, you make that fight and you have it in Saudi Arabia, I don't think neither guy could deny that. And like if Al Heyman gets involved and tells him, do not know, he's known for doing for other fighters that don't have control over their career and everything, and Terrence Sampson, yo, I will not take that fight. And so we have to promote the fight and everything. They're gonna say no, we can't. We're not gonna co-promote. We want to co-promote it then. No, you can't co-promote it because someone bought the rights.
Yeah, is it just me or because I kind of feel like the Arabians aren't interested in Mexican fights. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? It's
Like,
the
that's
one
the
guy.
feeling
Really,
that I
it's,
get.
It's this
You know,
one
I'm not gonna
guy, His
pretend like-
Excellency.
I'm not gonna pretend like everybody has to love Mexican fighters or think that they're very popular, shit like that. I know we do over here because that's where we're from and shit.
I
Here
think
in
it's
California.
more of like a heavyweight preference thing.
Yeah.
From
maybe.
this one guy in Saudi Arabia. He likes the big
Oh.
dudes. That's why he likes wrestling. You know what I mean? Like he's giving us great fights, but I mean, if he's really a fan of boxing, like a pure fan of boxing, he really
think he
should
is.
want Canelo Alvarez over there. I
No,
mean,
he tried to get Devin Haney and Tank over there.
let me ask you, Little Penny, like when there's a Saudi Arabia card, what is the time zone? Like what time or is it for you when you're watching that?
It's like noon.
No, he's in New
for-
Zealand. Fool.
So
No,
when is it?
for,
When the Saudi Arabia cards are there, what time is it for you guys? Because then I can then track
Okay,
It's
for
like I would
us,
say
it's
it's
like
like
noon.
midday. Yeah, like noon.
midday.
noon,
So it'll be
1
in the
o'clock.
morning for us here.
It's morning for you. That's
Yeah.
not bad. All right, that's pretty good. Like okay, that's not bad.
Not really, because you want to go to the bar. Like you have to
Trying-
wake up early.
Hey, it's still better than like those people in England who have to, like when there's like a fight over here in America, they have to get up at like freaking 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember-
that sucks.
Mayweather Hatton, like that did I think 950 pay-per-view buys in England from memory, or
That's
maybe
like-
850 or something like that. They had to wait. They had to wake up like 2 o'clock in the morning or something.
It's crazy. It's like
What the heck?
It-
They still,
really that
they were
time.
probably already up, huh?
it's hard
Yeah,
to stay up that
probably.
late, and it's hard to get up that early. It's like at like the worst time. It's just like, what do you do?
Yeah.
People, they should record how they enjoy fights, man. Like I want to see like
If
the ceremony. You know, get their tea and
But here's the
biscuits,
thing.
and then watch
if
the fight.
Canelo,
Tea and biscuits.
if Canelo, if Canelo was smart, he will make the move and tell his people, tell David Benavidez' people, I will give him $14 million to fight me in May
Hmm.
and everything. Take it or leave it. And
Or no, maybe not 14, maybe 10 million plus upside on the pay-per-view. I think that's
No.
fair.
you give him 14
That's
and a
too
little
high.
bit of the upside of the pay-per-view.
Well,
If he does not take that fight, if he does not take that offer, fine. I try
Yeah,
to make the fight.
That's
for you,
his fault.
And if
He
he
basically
fails,
has Drew. He basically has to give in to what Canelo gives in because he's the B side. Like
yeah. But here's the
Canelo,
thing. They're
Canelo
gonna
is
try to
from the
counter.
Mayweather Pacquiao era where the
They're
pay
gonna
per
say
views
20
were
million.
big.
They're gonna say 20 million. But he's like, no.
Nah, 20 million.
You're
No way.
gonna take what I tell you because I'm the A side. You're chasing me. You'll get less money if this becomes a mandatory.
Well, Drew, when Miguel Cotto fought Miguel Cotto's guarantee wasn't 20 million. I think it was more like 10. And Miguel Cotto at that time was already a bona fide pay-per-view fighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lil
Put it
Penny,
out.
you don't think that Canelo can command like over 1 million pay-per-views with anybody anymore?
No, I do. Benavidez.
Benavidez
And Bud Crawford too. Bud Crawford.
Which fight do you think is bigger?
Bigger? I hate to say this, but I reckon the Bud Crawford one's bigger because
it is the bigger one. I think
110%. That Bud Crawford fight does not do no more than 250,000.
Oh, come on,
come on, Drew.
No, he does not do no more than 250,000.
No,
the people, why would the people want to pay for a welterweight fighting a super middleweight where you can pay and get the two best super middleweights in the division fighting?
Because Bud can beat him.
Bud can't beat Canelo right
now. I
know.
I'm picking Canelo, but Bud can beat him because he's skilled.
You don't have to battle. Tell you the
truth. Drew, I think you're off on this one, man. With respect. Yeah. Dude, Canelo does 400,000 by himself. You think with Crawford? You think he's going to do 250,000? That doesn't even make any sense, bro.
Didn't Bud and Spence did 700 or something like that?
Yeah,
that's not bad. That's
right.
Good.
And Crawford's profile's gone up since then too, because he did the rounds, making interviews and stuff like that.
Yes. Plus, all the hardcore Black Americans, they will buy that pay-per-view because of Bud. And you know, Mayweather said if you put a Mexican and a black fighter who are both good and got fan bases, you're gonna do well on pay-per-view.
Exactly. He said it in the ESPN interview, and I brought that up multiple times, and it's the truth. You get your best events when you throw the two together. Okay, it's the truth, man. And you know what? Like the other thing is, like if you're a casual, even if you're a casual fan, right, dude? If you've been watching boxing in the last 10 years and you're like a casual, and maybe you follow Canelo and watch a few fights here and there, you're probably already a little familiar with Crawford already. Like he's been around for a really long time too, and you know people might remember the Gamboa fight, or he beat Spence now. Oh, he's been around, he's undefeated. Like he's been on a knockout streak. Like this fight's sellable.
That Black American market is quite big. Like even though you know Black Americans they usually watch basketball or NFL, but when there's a big fight on, they usually will they turn up. They buy it, and plus you add in the Mexican fan base as well in America,
right?
You know, and some of the casual fans, I reckon it will do more pay-per-view than the Benavidez fight, to be honest.
Well,
that Benavidez can't access that Black American market.
1.2 million.
Nah, dude, like, you know, here's my thing. Like, I don't really think there's going to be, like, if you're already a Canelo fan, like, I just don't see, like, oh, well, he's fighting Benavidez. Like, where are these new numbers going to come from? There's not, like, more Mexicans he can pull from. Like, Benavidez does poor on pay-per-view. He just does. Like, I think it'll do okay, but I think it'd be more like a 800,000 maybe kind of fight. Like, dude, people don't know Benavidez.
Well, here's the thing. What did Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales fight on pay-per-view?
Yes. The rematch and the trilogy. Yes.
All right. What was the buy rates?
It was 300,000 or something.
Bro, you're not, dude. Little like non-crossover Mexicans who don't speak English. You can't compare the two, in my opinion. If that's where you're going with it. Like,
okay, what about Hector Camacho and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.?
I reckon probably did the same.
It did a lot more than 300,000.
No, you know what? I think that fight did a lot.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
I was around that time, and kids that weren't even Mexican.
The De La Hoya Chavez fight did well. It didn't reach 1 million, but it did very well there. Because I think De La Hoya's first 1 million pay-per-view buys was against Trinidad.
Look at it like this.
Oh.
You got a lot to build with in that fight that can get you over 1 million pay-per-view fights. This is potentially the guy. They can build this as potentially the guy that can send Canelo into retirement.
I think that nobody's wrong here. I think
Drew's wrong.
Either fight has the potential to go past 1 million. That's what I think.
Paul. Canelo Triple G has got no fan base in America.
You know what though? A lot of people
casuals liked him. Casuals knew about him, and boxing was more popular.
So that fight,
at the time.
I think it did less than it should have done. To be honest.
But Triple G was never on pay-per-view before he fought Canelo, right? From my understanding,
he was, but he did really bad too.
He fought on
150K. They were making fun of him because of it.
Right, but dude, here's the thing, dude. One, actually, Triple G, the casuals knew who he was, right? Because boxing was in a better.
Triple G Lemieux.
I was around in America at the time, Lil Penny. Excuse me.
Triple G Lemieux was on pay-per-view, I think.
And I lost my
He
train
was
of thought.
signed with
But you know I
Jordan.
love you, Lil Penny. I'm just messing around with you. But it is the truth. No, casuals knew who he was, and boxing was in a healthier state at the time.
Yeah,
in
that was
general.
like the HBO poster child right there
And
for a little
Triple G
bit.
signed with Jordan.
Oh shit! Come on, Drew.
But Benavidez has got a hardcore like boxing fans like in Phoenix,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
got a following.
Munguia sold more than Benavidez did in Phoenix. I mean, it depends on your perspective, you know.
Canelo and Munguia, now that will do probably maybe 1 million pay-per-view buys.
I think it would probably do better. I think Munguia, he's a name, and also another kind of HBO name, a guy who's been around for a while. Dude, like I went to a fight here in Phoenix. It was a fight party, right? This was during the Canelo versus Ryder fight. Bunch of casuals, and like, oh well, who might Canelo fight next? And I was like, well, Benavidez could be. And they're like, they didn't even know who he was. Like these casuals don't know anybody, bro. I'm telling you, like, and Benavidez is behind a paywall now, bro. Like, he's not building a fan base.
Yeah, but no, I think I think Canelo's got 3 good pay-per-views
Left.
from 3 opponents: Munguia, Benavidez, and Bud. Right? And some those fights, especially with Benavidez, those could be rematches, man. Like, you know, Canelo Triple G rematch did 1 million pay-per-view buys, right?
That was weird too because that
I
fight
don't
was
think
on the
there's going
zone.
to be a rematch.
And those people who bought those pay-per-view buys are probably not dead, right? So they're still like the Benavidez could beat Canelo. Like, he could seriously like end his
career.
Like pay-per-view.
High stakes fight. I think it's a good fight. I think that Canelo is putting himself like, you know, it's a risky fight. You know, I think Benavidez, you could label him as dangerous.
The Bud one isn't, I think. The Bud one isn't.
Right. And that was my point. That's why I came on, Little Penny, because dude, there's people on now that the coast is clear and it looks like Canelo's not gonna fight him. Dude, the PBC cult has come out and they're like, oh, he's ducking Crawford. It's a duck. That's what I'm hearing, bro. And that's the main reason I came on, bro. Because like you said, Little Penny, how can you duck somebody that's 3 weight classes below you? Come on, man.
It's kind of like when Mayweather fought Hatton, right? Had Mayweather gone down in weight and fought Hatton at 140, it would have been really competitive. But when he asked Hatton to go up to 147, everybody knew that, everybody knew that Mayweather's going to win that fight because Hatton, he hasn't got no defense whatsoever. Mayweather is like this defensive genius. So everyone knew that fight was going to be one-sided, yet it still did very well on pay-per-view.
But you know what?
950 or something.
You wonder what that made Hatton bad? Hatton had a fighting style of a fucking club fighter.
That's what Penny just said right now. He didn't have no defense, bro.
Like,
true.
But you know what? I was looking forward to that fight when it was. I remember being the anticipation for that fight. People were ready for that Hatton versus Mayweather fight. I was excited for it at the time.
I actually thought that Hatton had a really good chance against Pacquiao because, Pacquiao, his defense is not that good, right? You know what I mean? And they're both brawlers. And Manny was going up from 130. He had one fight at 135,
Right.
She's really going up from 130 to 140. I was thinking, man, this Hatton, like Hatton really usually rehydrates to 152, sometimes 153, right?
Right.
Manny is small, right? I was thinking, man, Manny could get beaten up here.
Well, it was a good point because people were saying, like, the De La Hoya fight, well, that didn't count. De La Hoya was drained. So it is true. Like, that was kind of a step up, because it was at 147, but like De La Hoya was washed, right? So it's like, okay, well, now you're fighting a legit 140-pound champion.
After the fight, not beforehand, because De La Hoya was actually the favorite to win that fight.
But if you look
he fought Pacquiao fought De La Hoya, then fought Hatton.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you're right. Like, all I'm saying is that when you did the jump, it didn't really count because De La Hoya was all jacked. He was weight drained and he was shot. So when he
after the fight, not beforehand, because the De La Hoya Pacquiao fight, De La Hoya was the favorite to win that fight.
No, you're right. Yeah. But exactly after. So that's why I said, like, that's why the anticipation for the Pacquiao Hatton fight was really big because I was like, well, you're right. It was after the fact for sure.
But I was surprised that fight didn't reach 1 million pay-per-view buys. They only did 850, right?
Pacquiao Hatton?
Just Pacquiao Hatton, just in North America. But if you count the English pay-per-view as well, which everyone does these days, like the international, it did well over 1 million.
But you look at it like this, man, when it comes to Ricky Hatton fighting Pacquiao, this was his second fight with Floyd Mayweather Sr. Floyd was trying to have him fight like a pure boxer, and that's not what Ricky Hatton does. Ricky Hatton fucking balls. He's a guy that pressures you, holds you, and makes it rough for you and everything. And he went away from it. And when he tried to go back to it, he got caught.
You got clipped, huh?
Well,
But I think
make it nice.
I think when he beat Costa Zoo at 140, I thought that was a pretty good performance. I know Zoo was a bit, what do you call it? He was a bit washed up at that time, but still, you have to beat the guy, the man who beat the man, which is Costa Zoo at that time. And it's interesting now. His son is fighting Thurman. Unbelievable how time flies, man. Fuck.
True.
He's
What a
representing
garbage
the
fight
Mexicans
that
a
is.
little bit too.
I mean, that's true. A little. You know, I don't
He's
like
like,
Zoo. I think there's a little bit too
Mexican
much hype.
style.
Yeah, I think there's too much hype
I
with
like
him.
him,
So,
dude.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm
Chicano, I agree because I actually picked when he fought. Who's that guy? Mendoza. I actually picked Mendoza to win against Tim Zoo because I thought it was a little bit overhyped. But when you watch that fight against Mendoza, man, Zoo he just went forward, kept
His
going
team
forward.
right now is.
I'm
is
sold
picking,
on Tim.
You're on board.
Yeah, I'm on board. Yeah. After that Mendoza fight.
His team is picking the right guys for him right now because there is a fighter that's going to cause him problems. And
Who's that?
the skill
Who's
set
that?
of Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford does have pop to his punches too, is going to cause Tim Tszyu problems.
I think Bud will annihilate Costa Zoo. Oh, it's Tim Zoo.
Well, he would annihilate Costa Tszyu too in his prime, but he would.
Come on, Drew. Don't do that, bro.
Nah,
don't do that, bro. That's the legends right there, man.
Yeah, Costa
he wouldn't
Tszyu,
even exist in that time. So,
he had a good chin too. Costa Tszyu had never been knocked down. I think. Yeah, it was like I can't remember Costa Tszyu being knocked down. He knocked out a lot of people, including what's his name? Zab Judah.
His best win was against Zab Judah.
He fucked Julio Cesar Chavez up, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chavez was washed up by that time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But he was more than washed up when Hatton stopped him.
Yeah, you could make that argument that he was a little. I mean, well, you know, it's kind of like the way people don't give Canelo credit for beating Kovalev, right? They act like he was washed, even though he's a defending champion. You know, it happens like that.
I thought there was a rehydration clause on that fight, right?
Not according to certain sources. You know, well, D-Style and he asked Kovalev's coach, like, was there a rehydration clause, and he said no. He said I wouldn't have let him take the fight if there was a rehydration clause. But
Who
I
was
remember
that, Buddy McGirt, right?
Yeah, it was McGirt, but I mean, I don't know. Who knows? You know, maybe there was
wasn't Kovalev winning that fight?
What do they call
it? Wasn't Kovalev winning that fight until the knockout?
I don't think so. I think Canelo was coming on, and I think Canelo
took a lot of damage.
I think he was up one round according to my card, if I remember right.
Like he was all red everywhere, huh? Canelo?
Yeah, he's a little red, you know. But
it's hard, bro. You're talking about a tall ass guy with the long ass jab. He's just fucking you up the whole fight, and you're trying to get in there.
No, Paul. Say Canelo wins against Benavidez, which he is the favorite. He wins against Bud, which is he's too big for Bud. He wins against Munguia, because Munguia doesn't have any defense, right? Man, Canelo has to go back to 175 and finish off his unfinished business there. Correct. That's right. He needs to do that for because I can't put him in my top 4 or top 5 all-time Mexican greats. So I've got Chavez, Marquez, so that's 2. 3, I got Barrera. 4, Morales. 5, Canelo, right? Now, to jump some of those guys, he's got to beat Bivol. He has to. Because that's that's because, his fights at 168 against those guys who those guys, the Plant, they were champions, but they weren't good champions.
He's
you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's never going to be able to beat up that Demetrius Bivol.
He could.
To start the way that his style is, and the way he was able to team Canelo.
You know what? He's gonna have to do some A-side maneuvering to beat him.
Or it's like that fight with Bivol. It reminds me when Morales beat Pacquiao, right? You think if you just watch that fight in isolation, you think, oh my God, Pacquiao can't beat this guy because he keeps out boxing him. He's too quick, when Pacquiao throws his 3-punch combination, 2 will miss, one will connect, but Morales will counterpunch him. His 3 punches, 2 will connect, 1 will miss. So, but then in the second fight, it's like, oh my god, it's a completely different kind of like
styles make fights, right?
Kind of like the Eubanks Jr. versus the Smith fight, where it's like, oh, how in the hell did that happen? So Canelo could do the same thing, and he's got more of a resume that he can do this than what Eubanks did to Smith, right? Because Canelo is a pound per pound fighter.
I know. So, I mean, you got to look at the first fight too, and just admit that he didn't look good. He looked overweight.
No, but no point. Bivol didn't annihilate Canelo. Where it was
I mean, a lot of
people you gave him 5 rounds, right?
Huh? Yeah, a lot of people.
I gave him 3 rounds.
I mean,
I think 4 is
check
fair.
this out. Like, I think that the way they scored that fight was more than fair. I think that anybody could admit that he at least won 4 rounds. The first 4 rounds probably.
Oh, also round 6, Drew. You gave him round 6, and if you go back and watch, is it round 6, Drew? There's a clear Canelo round. Like, I think it's round 6.
Isn't it round 9 or something like that?
Oh, maybe it's round 9. Yeah, it's
one
round
of those
9.
rounds.
There's a clear Canelo round, and it's like I remember when we were talking about it. A lot of people who even had Canelo losing wide. A lot of people gave him a late round, and I forget which one it was. I think it was round 9. If you watch it in isolation,
Bivol might not even be able to beat Baturviev. They're fighting next in Saudi Arabia. That's a
Did they set the date?
To be honest, that fight is a 50-50 fight.
Did they set the date though?
Yeah, it's. I think it's in March.
I think it has.
I don't think it's official. Is it?
It is official.
I thought it was.
Well, I hope so. I've given up Twitter for Lent. I'm not Catholic, but I like to give something up, so I'm out of the news cycle loop.
You're not Catholic? But you're Mexican, dude. You're not Catholic?
Chicano? I grew up Catholic.
Fuck, man, you're Catholic. You're Mexican, bro. What other religion can you choose?
The Pope pissed him off, man.
Yeah, man. I got my problemas con the church, man.
There's only 2 sexes in this world. Only 2, male, female. That's it.
Hey, what did Pacquiao say about that?
Oh my god, that cost Pacquiao the Nike
the Nike deal
sponsorship. Once he said about that, like he said something about
they're like animals, huh?
Animals, Nike said not
worse than animals.
I forgot. Yeah,
he pissed a lot of people off. I was like, "Go Pacquiao!" I was like, "I'm a fan now."
Hey, dude, speaking of America, dude, like you guys like need to chill on like these rainbow like.
I know, man. Right?
Like, you can't get too soft, dude, because they don't have these sort of debates in Russia and China. China and Russia will be licking their chops. Like, let's just wait another 50 years. This country here will be too feminine. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I don't think any one of us is out there championing this stuff. I mean,
but there's a lot though, dude. Like sometimes I see in my office where like, dude, like this Me Too movement is going too far, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of
what little Penny does? He jumps in and goes and gets on the back and be like this and dances around the office.
but like what some of these guys said, if we go to war, these feminists like this will go away because they're not gonna. What are they gonna do? Like if America goes to war, right? Like say World War III, this feminist stuff, that will go away. Like. Because what are they going to do? They're not going to participate in the army, even though there are women in the army. But let's be real, man. They're not in the friggin' front line. They're probably doing accounting and shit like that.
Well, men should really be doing the fighting.
Well,
it's kind of like I'll say this. I get uncomfortable seeing female cops tackle situations. I feel like they're a little like they're more inclined to try to handcuff you or do stuff that might be unnecessary because they're undersized. I think a cop should be of a decent size, and I think that's just my opinion. You know what I mean?
Black women, they're quite big.
Remember the question that said, are you able to physically lift up 50 pounds? It's like, that's a question when you
but I do, but you do need women cops out there because sometimes if you actually see
they gotta search women though, right?
No, majority of the calls are domestic violence. They're not murder or rape or whatever or bank robbery. It's domestic violence between husband and wife, right? That's most calls on 911 for you guys. They are domestic violence. So sometimes with a woman cop, they'll be able to like be a mediator between the husband and wife and then sort it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas with a guy, sometimes, you know, it's a bit hard because us guys, we're not like, we don't think emotionally. We think physically. You know what I mean?
But you know what?
How did we start talking about this, dude?
I don't
Okay,
know.
Lalo Roman here says,
What about
let's talk about boxing real quick, man. Let's talk about
Yeah.
boxing. It says, it's dangerous for Crawford to fight Canelo. I wouldn't want Crawford eating out of a straw after Canelo brutally beat him.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, nobody's scared of that fight. If you're part of the cult and
Yeah.
listening to this, like, come on, bro. You don't want that fight. We all know what would happen. Canelo would
I
whoop
mean,
that
look,
ass. Come on,
these
man.
guys can go from 1 minute saying, keep in mind they've done it before. They'll be like, oh, Canelo's scared. He's a coward. He don't want to fight a guy that's like 20 pounds lighter than him. But if Canelo were to sign that fight right now, in a couple days or right away, they, without even missing a step, they'll be saying the opposite. Oh, Canelo's
See, Bud Crawford is used to getting hit. Bud Crawford, he's not like Mayweather where he never gets hit, right? Bud Crawford does get hit.
Yes.
He's been hit by 147 pounders, right?
Yeah, he'd probably get
The
knocked
power
out by
at
Canelo.
147 and the power at 168 are completely different. It's completely different. It's like night and day, right? Now, Crawford is very well skilled. He can pull a Manny Pacquiao here. Like, you know, he can beat Canelo. He's got a pathway to
He's going to
victory
need a
very
catchway
thin.
for that
I like
one.
the fight in a
Penny.
way. I like the fight in a way.
Oh, yeah. It's very – I'm actually curious on what Bud Crawford will do to Canelo rather than the other way around. Because Bud Crawford is more skilled than Canelo. He's faster than Canelo. As we have seen, if you're a great fighter and you're small and you're fighting a bigger fighter who's also great, usually the smaller guy wins, right? Because he's faster.
Isn't there a saying that
Well,
says,
here's you know what? Lalo Roman
good-
brings up another good point.
don't they say a good big boxer always
Yeah, that's
wins?
in relative terms, though. That's like
Yeah.
a good fighter versus a good fighter. I'm talking about a great fighter who's smaller and is fighting a great fighter too, who's
but not as
bigger.
great.
Usually
Like one division up.
So Little Penny, does he have a chance or he doesn't have a chance? You said,
Of course he does.
Penny thinks that he could win.
Of course he does.
If
But
the
Crawford,
circumstances
hell yeah, he got a chance.
are
But I'm
correct,
thinking
right?
Canelo, he's too big.
Well, I think so too. And here, Lalo Roman makes a good point. Crawford at 168 would be much slower. Here's my thing. I always thought, and I like Crawford. Like, I don't even think he's all that fast at welterweight, to be honest with you. He's not that fast. He's just got really good timing and he's got decent speed. But I wouldn't call him like he doesn't got hands like Mayweather or Pacquiao. He's just got average speed.
Or the footwork either. You don't.
No,
got
and last time I saw good
Mayweather
footwork
footwork.
from him was
Oh,
like
footwork's not bad.
at 140. Now he's gonna be 37 at 168. Like he's not gonna be able to, dude. He's gonna be there to get hit, dude. Like.
Yeah,
There's like
168. When he carries the extra weight, he's not going to be as fast as he was at 147. He's going to be.
But that's it. That's if he decides to. What is he? He has to come up to. He has to weigh at least 161.
He has to know, Paul. Kind of like what Amir Khan did. You have to get to be able to.
But to make the fight legal, you have to come in at least 161.
Really? Is that how it works? You have to
at the weight
limit?
Yeah, he has to be at least 161.
No, he doesn't.
Wait, 180.
No,
wait, 169. Yeah. Oh no, he has to be above the middleweight limit, which is 160.
Does he?
Because middleweight's 160, so he has to be 161 at least.
I can't think of an example. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if that's.
It's because they don't do that way. But you got to come in at least at 161 because you got to come above the weight class below you at least.
Yeah,
or else the fight won't even go through. Because imagine you coming in.
He has to gain a lot of pounds because to be able to not accept, like to be able to Canelo when he hits you. If you're at 147, dude, he's gonna crack your ribs. So you have
let's
to
say this. What do you guys think he walks around at?
Who?
Crawford.
Bud?
Yeah.
I reckon 155, 156. He's he stays in the gym a lot.
Actually, he looked kind of big in this fight.
I'd say probably like 160.
How much did these guys rehydrate to?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because they're always at least 10 or more pounds than
I think they've asked Bud
they're fighting
around weight. I wish we had a fact checker on this stuff.
Yeah, HBO used to do that. Like I remember Pacquiao fought Margarito, like, man, he rehydrated to like 165 pounds or something. And Pacquiao only rehydrated to like 140, 148.
Which wasn't even a lot, Penny, because it was a 154 fight, right?
It was at 150.
Oh, but it was, but what's his name's a 154 fighter, right?
Margarito, yeah.
So 165 was what, 11 pounds more? Not a lot. There's guys that
Crawford
come in at like 170, 180 at 154.
Crawford says he walks around at 180.
See?
180.
So
according to his Twitter.
So, and that's not even overweight.
That's what he said.
Hey, that's not even overweight. So that means that he could he would come in, even if he wanted to come in a little light, he'll be coming in at like 161 and then
I
weigh
reckon
in
that's
at like
too much.
180.
Spence, I agree. I reckon he walks around at 180. But with Bud, dude, that
Shoot,
guy's
they were saying that Devin Haney was.
Says.
Hey, they were saying that Devin Haney was like 180 versus the guy he just fought.
Haney looks like he puts on weight, bro.
That was crazy, bro.
There's Muslims. What's it called? They fast.
Ramadan.
Yeah.
But I still think he's a big.
He's not. I don't think that he's really like that, bro.
And those Arabic food, man, they don't. The souvlaki's and.
Remember when they were asking him what he was doing for Ramadan? He said, I'm having sex with like 2 strippers right now.
Hey, they're called the harem.
I know, right?
He fought Lomachenko around Ramadan.
Whatever.
He fought Lomachenko around Ramadan, and he said he had to quit fasting in order to train for the fight.
Oh well, and I seen him post a picture of a ham sandwich too on.
But the thing is, Crawford is used to getting hit by a 147 pounder. That power, right? The power between 147 and 168 are completely different, dude. Like, oh my god, it's like in a way going from 122, and he's now fighting at like 100, 122, 26, 30, 135. Tank Davis.
Tank. They're like, hey. You know what? I'll give him credit.
Uppercut from Tank Davis to Inoue. Inoue will freaking die.
Yeah.
Well, this
some
was a
people
good
want
show.
to see it.
Lil Penny, thank you for sidetracking us with other subjects like Pacquiao and feminist rainbow stuff like you do. I love it. And I was hoping you'd jump on. So
we needed to talk about that anyways. Huh?
Yeah, we had to get it out of our system.
Or if a female cop touched my Mr. Johnson, I want to say, hey, you better do something else with it then. If you touch
Imagine if she's like saw Drew, huh? Like, I'm searching that guy right there.
By the way, Taylor Swift she's not in New Zealand, but she's in Australia. Mm-hmm. She did 3 concerts in a row. I think she did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 96,000 in each show. Right,
damn.
96,000 times 3. So she did nearly 300,000 people.
She's a bona fide superstar, no doubt about it.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, here's a joke for you. What's the difference between SpongeBob and a Catholic priest?
I don't know, man. Which one's Catholic?
What is it, Drew?
At least you get to ask SpongeBob. At least you get. SpongeBob asks for permission first.
I don't even get that one. But maybe I guess I don't watch SpongeBob. Does he ask for permission? Or
at least he asks for permission first.
Okay.
Catholic priest, with the
with the little boys, right?
Oh, Drew.
Hey, by the way, did you hear like Pacquiao might go to the Olympics? Like, what do you think about that?
That'd be cool. I
play basketball? Awesome.
But he should get his son to go to the Olympics. The oldest son. Because I think he's training at the Wildcard Gym.
There's certain countries that got some old ass dudes in the Olympics, right? Like communist countries, because they ain't got nowhere else to showcase their skills. So, I mean, it would be amazing for Pacquiao to go and actually. What weight class would he fight in, right? Because they don't They don't rehydrate.
Maybe middleweight. Pacquiao's gained a lot of weight at the moment.
I heard he got denied. Didn't he get denied?
Pacquiao used to weigh in at at welterweight. He used to weigh in at like 144 or 143 or something.
And he would eat like 5 times a day.
Damn, just to get that. Damn.
But by the way, Munguia is now trained by Freddie Roach. Is that right?
Yeah. He looked amazing too.
He looked looked good, man. I don't know if Morales can go back there. Like,
whoa,
Lil Penny, I went to the fight. I haven't been on in like 4 months, so you probably wouldn't know that. But I went with my homie Julian, man. We went to the fight.
that Munguia fight?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Was
dude.
was the upper deck of that stadium, was it full as well?
It was full. And,
The whole
and it was,
stadium, the upper deck?
Yeah, the upper deck, dude. It was packed in there, bro. Like, and it was a hot crowd, bro. I'm sure you could hear it too, but that crowd was hot. Like, dude, like Munguia brought out he brought the viejas too, man. It was just like overall.
Because Munguia, he's like Margarito. Like a lot of people, like even me, I'm not Mexican, but I like that sort of a style where you move forward, you just throw punches, you know. Most people.
Well, you know what, Drew? You know what, Lil Penny? The tide has turned, bro. Like, you know, this idea of like glorifying like the back foot bitches. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I don't have time for back foot betties, dude. Like, you know, I'm okay with like resetting, but like, like when people are like, you know what? I want to see a pocket. I'm here to see engagement. You know, if you're like running, like, dude, people don't have time for that anymore, bro. Like, we're here to see a combat, a fight. You know what I mean? Come on.
I don't mind it. Look, I don't mind it if it's for free. It's like on HBO World Championship Boxing or HBO Boxing After Dark, right? But if you're putting a fight on pay-per-view, dude, I want to see some hands because I'm paying for it.
Right.
I'm already paying for the cable per month, and then I have to pay on top of that pay-per-view, dude. I want to see some hands.
Historically, in boxing, from the origins, right, we're there to see combat. We're not there to see somebody run around. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Like, and it's weird, bro. Like, because you know the thing is, like, I never called Mayweather a runner. You know what I mean? Like, I save it for people who are actually running. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, Mayweather did run. He ran.
Did he? When did he run? I have to take.
Honestly,
I'll take a look. When did he run around?
He ran against Pacquiao. Like Pacquiao was trying to find him for like 8 rounds. Mayweather was fighting off the back foot, right? But
I'm okay with some fighting off the back foot as long as there's a pocket. I'm talking about people who like are outside of the pocket. That's my, but you can have your preference. But I'm talking about like.
He's talking about Eddie's Lara Canelo.
Right. This is what I don't like, right? Like where like some of these Haney and these Shakur Stevenson fans, right? Where they glorify these back foot, I should say, bitches, but they don't even turn up on the fights. They don't buy their pay-per-views. Dude, no pay-per-view, no turnout, no opinions. I think people.
Well, you know what? That's what I've been saying. Like, you know what? Like, dude, yeah, people. I totally agree with that sentiment. That's all I could say, Lil Penny. I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah, dude. And you know what? Like, people like Jermaine Ortiz. You know, I know Drew feels pretty strongly that Teofimo was given a gift, like he always gets a gift, right, Drew? But what'd you think about that fight, Drew? Or I mean, Lil Penny, Jermaine Ortiz versus. Yeah, I thought so. You know what? I thought so too. Like, I didn't, dude. Who wants to watch some guy? Yeah. But who wants to watch some guy run around? Like, what, you gonna reward that dude? Like, hell no. Forget
but sometimes, that. But Chicano, sometimes you get into. I wish like he would chase him, but But sometimes there's a point in your career where you can't do that anymore because you don't have the legs and you don't want to take the risk. I'll give you a perfect example. Pacquiao used to chase Morales, Barrera, Marquez, especially Marquez, like for 12 rounds, right? But then when he got to a point where it was like 35, 36, when he started fighting Bradley, he didn't want to chase him anymore because, man, you don't have the legs, man. You don't have.
See, that's where we disagree. Like, okay, I don't think Marquez was running around. You know,
no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
That's what you said. You said Pacquiao was busy chasing him around.
No, chasing him as in like when he would counter Pacquiao wouldn't give up. He would just still keep on going. Like he would be on the front foot.
He would crash the pocket, yeah, and like go in.
Yeah. But right. Pacquiao, when he fought Bradley the second time and the third time, or right around that time, even with what's his name, with Brandon Rios, he didn't want to crash the pocket anymore. He didn't want to go for the kill because I think when you get to that age. But the thing is, Tio is not at that age. Tio is still under 30, right?
Oh yeah, he's like 26.
Like I was surprised that he didn't go for it. Like he didn't chase him. Like. Kind of like what Margarito did to Cotto in Las Vegas, where he just kept chasing and chasing and chasing. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I felt like he was at least trying to chase him. Like, there's a difference between like chasing and actually cutting off the ring, right, Drewski?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, sometimes when the guy just keeps on running, like for example, when Donaire fought, what's his name, that Cuban guy,
Rigondeaux.
Rigondeaux, yeah, it's so hard, dude. Like it's like what do you do when the guy is just running? Like he doesn't want to engage. It's a bit like, you know what I mean? Like There's a point.
You know what? Like, I have to go back because I understand what you're saying. You know, I guess you and I just have different definitions of what's acceptable to us. I'd have to go back. I mean, I haven't seen the Pacquiao Mayweather fight in a while. I do think it's not as bad as people think. So, you know, I think it's because the expectations were so damn high. You know what I mean? But I'll go take a look. Like, and I also want to take a look at De La Hoya versus Mayweather to see if that was indeed running.
No, I don't think Mayweather was running against De La Hoya. Per se, he didn't run as much because I remember De La Hoya was cracking him like
He was
a
able
few
to cut
times.
the wing off.
Yeah, De La Hoya only lost that fight maybe the last 3 rounds because he stopped jabbing for some reason. I don't know why.
Here's my thing, you know, like I think people, you know who does a really good job of like not necessarily like cutting off the ring, but having the engagement happen to somebody who would be inclined to like go on the back foot and be out of the pocket is Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders. Like you know, you have to remember that they have to be in range of you to punch you too. So you kind of have like a circular motion, and you know when they strike, you strike because they have to be in range to hit you. So you got to have good timing. You know what I mean?
Inoue is good at cutting off the ring too.
Inoue is very good at cutting off the ring. You know, but
Triple G too was good at cutting off the ring before he fought Canelo, but then after he fought Canelo, he stopped doing it.
Right, Triple G was excellent. If you watch those old sparring videos of Triple G and his old trainer, what's his name?
Abel Sanchez.
Abel Sanchez. Yeah, dude, you watch him just kind of move. Dude, Triple G would just move like a beast, man. Like the way he would crash the pocket was impressive.
I reckon it's because Canelo's got power. He's got serious power at 160. And when a guy's got serious power and you cut off the ring and he counter punches you and it hurts you, I mean, you're not going to cut off the ring again. Like,
right.
You learned your lesson the first time.
100%. I mean, that's why. I mean, Canelo didn't run. He kind of fought a little. He had a little bit of movement in that first.
He did run a little bit in the first fight. The second fight, he didn't. It was Triple G that was running in the second fight.
I don't know about. I mean, like I said, like we have different definitions. I think. Like you're saying, any back
because Chicano. Because before that, Canelo was always on the front foot, right?
Not really.
With the exception to Mayweather, the Mayweather fight. With the exception to Mayweather fight, all the other fights, Canelo was usually on the front foot. The guy, he's the one that was chasing.
I would have classified Canelo like pre-160 as like more of like a counter puncher who was kind of like a bit like not so bad, kind of like letting you come into him. I wouldn't necessarily say like back foot, but he could fight kind of like, you know, letting you come into him. You know what I mean? Like,
but the first fight, you could clearly see that Canelo was always on the back foot, whereas Triple G was always on the front foot. And then in the second fight, he did the reverse.
Right, he was front foot dominant.
Yeah, front foot dominant. And I thought that he won against Triple G in that second fight. I thought Triple G won the first fight, Canelo won the second fight, right? But this is the reason why I think Canelo can beat Bivol, because of what he did to Triple G in the second fight. He can make adjustments.
I think adjustments to be made. And you know what? I'd like to see that fight again.
Canelo might not be able to make an adjustment within the fight, like as good as, say, Floyd or Pernell Whitaker, but Canelo can make the fight, make an adjustment in between the fights, right? Where I don't know, maybe look to me, Bivol is. To me, I like Bivol, but he's not like this great fighter from 168. Like, I don't think he wouldn't even crack my top 10 168 pounders of all time. So I think he is beatable. It's not impossible. Like if Eubanks could do what he did to Smith in the rematch, surely Canelo can also do that to Bivol, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, bro. I mean, but like I said, I'm in no rush to see him go back to 175. I think he should fight in his best weight class. It's his right to, just like all the other greats, right? I mean, he should fight in his optimum weight class.
He should fight Benavidez.
You should fight Benavidez, but I also like the Crawford fight, and I would understand the Crawford fight. It's for the era. Who's the best fighter of the era? And it's to break the bank too. And if you're, if you want the lighter
Chicano,
touch,
he has to fight Benavidez first, right? Rather than fight Crawford first and then Benavidez. Because there'll be too many, like, if he fights
from a competitive perspective or a business perspective, like what perspective are you talking about?
From his legacy point of view, because
legacy point of view. I think if it was a legacy point of view, I think there's no reason that in that case, I don't think there's any reason that the Benavidez fight couldn't wait until September. This is a few months. further
Because
away.
if he fights Bud Crawford next, dude, Juan Manuel Marquez is gonna have a field day on ESPN Deportes. Like,
I hear you,
God,
but if you're like 33, going on 34, you have like your last prime years, you want to make some money. Like, why
the
not
guy's
fight?
a welterweight, man. Like, it's
Exactly,
like,
exactly. Make your money, right? Be the best fighter of your generation, cement it, right? And then you fight Benavidez a few months later, like, or like say, what if Benavidez is a tough challenge, and then boom, he beats down Canelo? Like that Crawford fight's not going to be as appealing for people.
no, I think it'll be even more appealing because now Bud's got a chance. Like,
Yeah, but he's got now Canelo's got no belts. Like I just think if it's a business thing, I say you take Crawford first. But that's just me. I would like to see the Benavidez fight first, but
I wouldn't mind.
Canelo can do whatever he wants, as far as I'm concerned.
I reckon Canelo needs another trilogy. So he had a good trilogy with Triple G. I don't think that trilogy is like. If you think of trilogies, I wouldn't put Canelo Triple G out there because, to be honest, even though I like those 3 fights, it wasn't really there wasn't any moments there where it was defining to me. Like, it wasn't like a Barrera Morales or like a Pacquiao Morales or like those great trilogies that we see like Bo Holyfield.
Well,
but if he fights Benavidez, and that's a trilogy, right? So he'll have 2 trilogies. I think that it will be good for his legacy if he had another trilogy, because like Barrera had 2. I think so. Morales had two great trilogies against 2 great fighters, Barrera and Pacquiao. Right? Pacquiao had a few trilogies himself. I think it would be good if I think Chavez had did he have a trilogy or no? I don't think he did.
I think he fought Frankie Randall 3 times, maybe.
Did he fought that guy, that Puerto Rican guy with the thing in his?
No, he fought him once.
Macho, or just once?
Just once.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Well, hey,
good
man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Wouldn't it be good for his legacy if say Canelo, say the first fight was a really close fight, and then the second fight, I don't know, whoever wins that, and then they get a trilogy. That would be good for Canelo's legacy.
Well, maybe we'll see if he has enough juice for it. And you know what? There'll be too many people hounding for other fights. It depends on how the first one looks too, Lil Penny. All right. Well, hey, man, we do have to get rolling. So, Lil Penny, thank you so much for joining us. Any final thoughts, brother?
No, not really.
All right, man. I'm glad you joined us. We'll see you the next time, man. Good seeing you. Drew,
see you guys.
Any final thoughts? Peace.
Can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All right, man. Well, you can catch Drew Evo on the Shoe Shot on Monday. I'm sure he'll be cooking like he always does.
What about Nopal? I got to ask Nopal his last statement.
Of course I do. Nopal, any last thoughts, man?
Just keep it boxing, man.
Keep it boxing, right? We'll see you guys later. Peace.